Hey everybody, this is Topher, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Contributor Day. What is your name?
My name is Allie Nimmons.
Hi, Allie.
Hi.
What was your first Contributor Day, and how many have you gone to?
I have only gone to one contributor day. Of all the WordCamps that I've been to over a dozen at this point. Um, I've only been to one contributor day, and it was the contributor day at the end of the last in-person WordCamp US, which was in 2019.
Yes, in St. Louis, I remember.
hmm And I did a little bit of just kind of, I sat down and I did a bit of just work that I had to do because everyone was sitting around on laptops. I was like, I should get caught up on some emails and things. And then I attended a sort of a workshop, like a community workshop that was being given by Andrea Middleton. And that was the
Oh,
first
nice.
time that I was really introduced to her and got to know her and listen to her speak and learn from her, which was really, really impactful in a lot of ways. Um, but yeah, that's mostly what I did that day.
Good. All right. Yeah, I was going to ask what you did, but that sounds like you wrapped it up nicely.
Sorry.
Um, what would you like to work on in the future? Have you ever looked at all the teams and thought, I've never done that before. I should try that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think I would really like to attend a contributor day and sit down and learn from somebody how to onboard a new contributor,
Oh,
if that makes sense.
yeah.
Um, I would really like to look at the flow of that information,
Mm-hmm.
the resources that we have available. I know there are things on .org and there are things on Learn WordPress that can help someone get started with contributing. But I'd kind of like to meta learn, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah,
Like
it does.
to connect with somebody about, okay, if I'm helping at a contributor day, how can I really effectively onboard someone? Or if I encounter somebody out in the world, how can I really effectively onboard somebody into the
Yeah.
contributing process? Um, that's something that I think about a lot and that I would really like to learn, because I think that I'm really interested in learning about themes and about plugins and about how core works.
Sure.
But I think more of what that is to me is like, I would like to learn how plugins are structured in the code way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the contributor day time is not always for that deep learning, it's for getting somebody on a project and doing stuff.
Right.
Um, so, yeah, I would like to learn how to teach about contributor day.
That would be really, really cool. We
Yeah.
recently started up the photos team, and I learned that onboarding is a little different for each team, and we had to kind of come up with our own way and how we do it.
Yeah.
Um, it occurred to me some standardization might be cool. So the last one is, what advice do you have for a first-time contributor?
My advice for a first time contributor would be to try not to be afraid of all the things you don't know, because it's going to be a situation where you are going to be the little fish in the big pond. You're going to be at the bottom of the totem pole, so to speak. And there's going to
Hmm.
be a lot of things you don't know how to do. There's going to be people that you don't know. There's going to be processes you're not familiar with. And that can be really daunting. As I feel like as adults, we forget what it feels like to, you know, we forget that feeling of, oh, it's the first day of sixth grade and I don't know anything, right? And I'm
Right.
just gonna sit
Yep.
here and I'm gonna learn. That can feel really scary, especially if you know, are a business owner or something and you're the person that people go to for answers all the time. And now you
Hmm.
have to shift that and be the person that has to seek out the answers and has to consistently say, I don't know, and find the questions to ask. And I think that can be a
Right.
big mental block for people. It can be a mental block for me for sure. Um, so don't be afraid of the things that you don't know, and just fall back on asking as many questions as you can, because there are people here who do know the answers. You just have to do a little bit of work to find them and find the right questions to ask. Um, and there's always going to be a moment, I think, when you're learning something new that things really start to click into place and you achieve like that flow of like, okay, I got my feet wet. I kind of know what I'm doing. I can take off a little bit. And I think,
Hmm.
it's a little bit painful to get to that point, but it is worthwhile.
All right. That's very cool. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.